began long before the Holocaust scientists experimented on Jews, Gypsies, and others they hated, before their industrial-scale genocide brought modernity down and Nuremberg set out a code. It began long before Tuskegee, the deliberate infecting of syphilis into black men's bodies to study their bad blood, science voyeurs, watching their method at work, killing their participants one by one by one. It began long before the Havasupai had their DNA taken under one guise and then used against them under another, taking from the sick to feed the well, simply because they believed in their moral right to do so. It began long before the Portuguese had improved their instruments of navigation, enabling them to sail beyond their imaginations. It began before Columbus left Spain's harbours, before Cook set sail for Tahiti, before slave traders and missionaries crossed the Atlantic and Pacific, before the great synergy of capitalism, science, nation building, and empire, before the doctrine of discovery legitimated and fueled Europe's quest for eternity. It began long before the slaughter, enslavement, and genocide of native peoples, before their nations, their lands, their bodies, before their tattooed heads, their skins, their vaginas, penises, and wombs were smashed into millions of fragmented pieces, before they were disemboweled, disembodied, reduced to collectible artifacts, exotic furnishings for the salons and sitting rooms of the wealthy. The process of dehumanizing, of not recognizing the human, of rendering others as beasts of burden, as less than human, as partial humans, as not quite humans, as soulless beings, as savage creatures. The process of conquering the other, of wielding them to the will of empires, is deeply written in the history of Europe, of Rome and Greece, of Great Britain, of Versailles, of little fiefdoms and all-conquering heroes we read in Europe's history of itself. The separation of flora and fauna, of humans from other beings, of humans from nature, of mind and body, of white and black, of civilized and savage, the positing of a soul, heaven and hell, of human will, intelligence, morality, of emotions, of race, of gender, of the being of a human, of the rights of a human, of the natural order of things. These were the technologies that were present and were honed in the colonies, in the concentration camps, in the prisons, on the reserves, in the laboratories, in the institutions of knowledge. These are the tools we teach and promote that will inform and discipline, that will help and save, that will develop and advance the humans that these tools have dehumanized, the stories that these tools have silenced, the relationships that these tools have subverted, their environment that these tools have contaminated. It began in the foment of language and ideas, incited by power and opportunity, emboldened by a sense of godliness, institutionalized in church and state, practiced on women, on children, on the poor, on other human beings, was taken with the word and the sword across oceans and continents, across mountains and deserts and rivers. It was present in their gaze as they surveyed the lands of others. It was present in their bodies as they infected villages, cities, and civilizations. It was present in their minds as they built their governments, missions, and schools, as they made laws and regulations, as they built prisons and slums, laboratories and roads. Their values, their beliefs, their norms, their words, their feelings, their touch, their thoughts, their fears, their dreams, their fantasies. It began there in the essence of their humanity.